100 men versus one silverback gorilla. This is a question that has haunted the entire world all week, starting on X/Twitter and moving throughout every other social media platform, including YouTube. This question is something people are debating over and over again, myself included, as to if 100 men, normal men, no weapons, can take down a silverback gorilla. Well, the answer to this, in my opinion, is a resounding yes. I want to know your answer as well. But I decided let's go ahead and do a Dragon Ball twist on this versus matchup. A tremendous versus matchup, and surprisingly, Dragon Ball has an equivalent to what this matchup actually is. 100 Earthlings versus 1 Uzaro.
This is who we are. You traveled by meteor to hide amongst the hermit until your 18th birthday. This is where you landed, and where you will be reborn. You serve me.
In this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly what would happen and how they could take down one of these Uzaros. But there are two different versions of this that we can play around with and toy around with. So the first version that I'm going to be focusing on is 100 normal Earthlings versus a regular crazed out Uzaro. So basically what we got here is the equivalent of anybody on Earth that is not a Z fighter versus a normal Uzaro, say Gohan when he first transforms into an Uzaro, or Goku when he first transforms into an Uzaro. We're gonna go ahead and tackle that first and see what the answer actually is, what the outcome would be, and then we're gonna get to the one that I am most excited about, and that is anybody included, any Earthling, including the Z Squad. Any of the Earthlings in the Z Squad. And the Uzaro that we're talking about is going to be the biggest of the big, the baddest of the bad, the smartest of the Uzaro, and that is Uzaro Vegeta, which to me is the strongest one out of all the Uzaros, not including baby Vegeta. But I'm not thinking it's fair that we include any of the Uzaros that are Super Saiyan. So later on in the video, we will be answering the question whether normal Earthlings and the Z Fighters, 100 of them, can take down a Prince Vegeta level Uzaro. So all the Earthlings on the planet are essentially equivalent to, or very same as the men, the humans that we have here on our planet Earth. The only exceptions are the ones that are the Z Fighters, the ones that have been training their ki and have been gaining stronger and stronger, and those are not going to be here in this first example. We are only focusing on regular everyday Earthlings that we see in Dragon Ball. Can 100 of these Earthlings take down a raging Goku Uzaro, Kid Goku Uzaro, a newly born Uzaro? Can they take this guy down? Now, we know right off the bat that the Uzaro, the way to take him down is to remove the tail. Really is the only way to bring him down to size. Can the Earthlings do it? The answer actually may shock you, but I do want to hear what you guys think in the comments with example number 1. Now, we know from Dragon Ball Z Saiyan Saga that normal, everyday katana can cut through a tail, an Uzaro tail. So this already immensely debuffs the Uzaro in question here, because if an everyday sword can cut through the tail and there's 100 humans, well, they can cut right through that tail. Granted though, the humans would need to know that the tail is the weak point. They would need to survive initial attacks from the Uzaro. Remember, these guys were sent on planets to destroy them, destroy the planet so that way Frieza can sell the planet. and at the end of the day, they would need to have weapons. So Earthlings, 100 of them with no weapons against an Uzaro, it would be a bloodbath. They would be incinerated, destroyed, smashed, everything you can think of. That's exactly what would happen. They would stand no chance. But if you give all of them katanas, you give all of them swords, there is a possibility, a good possibility, that they will cut the Uzaro's tail off. And the reason I'm saying this is, yes, a lot of them will die. They will get smushed. They will stab the feet or stab the legs, and that will cause them to get killed. But the probability out of 100 sword wielders that they will be able to cut the tail when they are around the size or the height of the tail, like they don't really have to jump that high to get to that tail, is pretty high. So if all the Earthlings had swords, the 100 Earthlings had swords, and they fought this Uzaro, I think there is a 50-50 chance that they will cut the tail off, and that will bring the Uzaro back to its normal human form, and then they could just kill the Saiyan that is passed out after being transformed into an Uzaro. So can 100 sword-wielding Earthlings kill an Uzaro? Absolutely. But it's 50-50. But now if we have any Earthling, including the Z Fighters, being put in this team versus an Uzaro that is Prince Vegeta level and smart and will block and try to avoid getting his tail cut, well, this becomes a more interesting question and honestly a more difficult scenario for the Earthlings. So the only Earthlings that I will not put on this in this little 100-man army are the androids. Even though they're technically Earthlings, they've been transformed essentially to become robots, androids, whatever, so they're not going to be part of this. So the team really realistically consists of Yamcha, Tien, Master Roshi, Chaozu, hell, you can even throw Oob in there. All those fighters plus 95 more, 94 more regular Earthlings with swords versus Prince Vegeta Uzaro. First of all, Prince Vegeta is not going to destroy the planet because he didn't do that in the Saiyan saga. He's not going to do it. He cannot breathe in space. So just stop typing that. Do not type that in the comment section. But what he will do is that he will take pleasure in blasting at least half of the humans that are there into smithereens, into the dust. They will die almost within the first, I would say, the first few minutes. They don't stand a chance. This blast will kill most of them. So we have 50 humans left, 50 Earthlings left, with the Z Fighters included. I would say that they all dodge it. They don't actually get hit. And then we have them attacking Vegeta. The only one that is around or stronger than Vegeta there, only two, I would say, is Krillin is around that level of durability and strength, but not longevity, and Oob is around that level, but still has its weaknesses. It's a giant Uzaro Saiyan Vegeta. All of them, though, know how to cut his tail off, or that cutting his tail off will kill him, and Vegeta is going up against Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, and Chaozu, who have already worked on a team before. They know how to work as a team. Plus, Krillin is quite literally the deadliest one there. He knows how to do Solar Flare, Destructo Disc. He knows about the tail. He almost killed Vegeta once. He is the biggest threat. And Vegeta, knowing this, he'd have to go after Krillin first, trying to kill Krillin. And so Yamcha and Tien would also have to screen Krillin so Krillin does not die. This leaves the tail open for Oob to try to go for it, but again, Prince Vegeta as an Uzaro would know that the tail is the weakness and would actively try to dodge those attacks and not put his guard down like he did against Yajirobe. Now, Roshi can hit him with Kamehameha waves, but Roshi, if he pulled out the Mafuba, that would really help the situation, but that is a huge, tremendous variable, and honestly, I don't believe that Vegeta would sit still and allow Roshi to hit him with the Mafuba like that. So I do believe that at this point in time, most of the Earthlings that are fighting this smart, strong Vegeta are dead, besides the Z Fighters. This would leave Yamcha and Tien, I would imagine, as being the ones that would be gravely damaged, or I could see Chaozu dying. Chaozu's dead, Yamcha's out of commission, Tien is fighting for his life, trying to screen Krillin, because that's what he's going for. Vegeta's going after Krillin. And this honestly is a terrible scenario for everybody, because once Vegeta with the bloodlust as an Uzaro gets a hold of Tien, gets a hold of Krillin, it's game over for both of them. Leaving only Oob, which is an interesting scenario how strong Oob actually is. And at this point in time, without Majub and without further training with Goku, I don't believe that Oob can take down Vegeta on his own. I don't think that he has the ability to, and I think that Vegeta will still be protecting his tail. So I would say there is an 80-20, 80 going to Vegeta, that Vegeta will win this matchup. And I believe that including every single Earthling minus the androids versus a Uzaro Prince Vegeta comes out on top. Who is next? You decide. Let me know in the comments.